Hi everyone, I'm Nikos Bafidis, and finally I'm here creating this video tutorial on Breakout Rooms through Microsoft Teams. Long awaited feature. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I've got open here my calendar and you can see I've got some of my lessons already scheduled. I've created this sample lesson here, so you can see this is a normal meeting. If I click on this and go to edit, there's nothing special about this meeting. It's got a title, the channel of the team, which is obviously going to send this invitation and schedule it to the calendars of all the members of the team, in other words, all the students. And I simply sent this as a normal meeting. Again, remember, it's always a good idea to click on the meeting options and change settings like only I can present. And if you want to prevent students from unmuting themselves, you can do that from there. But that was a different video. So all I wanted to show you is that already from the meetings that you've already created and scheduled for your lessons, we can create prior to the lesson so we can prepare breakout rooms. So if you're planning to use breakout rooms in a particular lesson, just go to your calendar, go to that particular meeting, and you can create the breakout rooms. So how do we do this? I'm going to, even if it's not time for this lesson to begin, from beforehand as a teacher, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to join the meeting. And there we go. I've joined the meeting now. My speakers are muted. That's okay. I've got that so I don't have any feedback with this recording. And this is the meeting. And if I look, participants, there's suggestions. These are my sample students, but no one's joined the meeting yet. And it says waiting for others to join. Now, you will notice up here, you've got a new icon next to the raise hand. This one here, this is the breakout room. So I'm going to click on this. And it's going to ask me here if I want to automatically create the rooms or manually add participants. Now, personally, I want to add participants manually because that way I can do a little bit of differentiation. I can put mixed ability groups. It's much easier to manage. Make sure if I've got any issues with particular students not getting along, or if they get along too well and they're very chatty and yep, they don't do the work they're supposed to. So if I know from beforehand how many groups I'm going to separate my class, here we go. I'm going to create 2 breakout rooms. You can create, look, a great number of them. Okay, so I only want 2 because I've only got 4 sample students to work with. There we go, 2. And I want to be able to manually assign the students. So I'm going to create the rooms. There we go. So it's created 2 rooms. I don't like room 1 and room 2, so I'm going to rename them. So I'm going to go to this room 1 here. The 0 actually means there's no one being allocated to the room yet. There we go. I'm going to rename the room. And I'm going to call this, I don't know, if functions. So let's say they're going to talk about if functions. I know, I'm very, very boring. There we go. If functions, rename the room. And this group here, for example, I'm just going to call the VLOOKUP function. So this is like Excel functions. They're going to go in and they're going to discuss the various types of functions. Rename room. And the reason I'm doing this is because VLOOKUP functions. Okay, is because after I've added students into a particular group, so I'm going to add 2 students in this one and 2 students in this one, essentially. Afterwards, halfway through the lesson, I'm going to mix them up and probably switch them over, or I can reassign them. So here we go. I've created the groups. Now I'm going to leave the meeting. So I'm going to close this meeting. And the reason I'm doing this is to show you that we can prepare the breakout rooms prior to our lesson. And we don't have the pressure of creating the rooms while the lesson has started and then adding the students in. So let's say the day and the time has come. We join the lessons. The students are going to join the lesson as well now. So I'm going to open this. Here's my lesson. I'm going to join. Join now. Again, my speakers are muted, so because I'm recording, just close that. And I'm in my lesson waiting for my students to start. If I click on the breakout rooms, you see the rooms which I created are already there for me. So I don't have to create them now. They're already set up because for once I've managed to plan ahead. That's a luxury. Okay, so let's say the students start joining in. So let's get my students in. Okay, so here we go. First one to join. I'm going to actually put the participants here so you can see them joining in. Join, and now no speaker. So I'm not going to have their speakers or anything connected, or their microphones or cameras, because essentially it's just me. So there's one. Student one's already joined. Student two. Next one, join. Join now, and then the fourth one as well. So I've got 4 students joining in. Here we go. Great, all 4 students in. My whole class is here. I can share my screen, I can present to them. We've started the lesson, and now I'm going to say, right guys, I'm going to add you to your groups where you're going to work together, you're going to collaborate, you're going to talk. Essentially a breakout room is like a separate meeting, and those students are there, and you as the teacher can pop in and out to the different meetings. So how would I assign my students? Okay, I click on my breakout rooms button, and here I can assign my participants. So I'm going to open that up. Here is a list of all my students. Okay, so let's say I'm going to add this student and this student. I'm going to assign, and I'm going to choose which room. So these 2 I'm going to put in the if functions group. There we go. And you can see here that's got a 2 there now. Okay, let me just maximize my window. There we go. And these 2 remaining students, so now there's only 2 left because the other 2 have been added. I'll select them. I'm going to assign, and they're going to go into the VLOOKUP functions. And I can see here how many students are in each group. There we go. Okay, so I've assigned them to their groups, but they're not actually in the breakout rooms yet. I'm going to bring in a couple of students in a minute so you can see what's going to happen. So let me bring one of these students into view. Here we go. That's just so you can see how this is going to work. So if I click on participants, this is what the student sees right now. The student is in the main meeting, and there are 4 students and obviously the teacher in this lesson right now. Okay, so let me just move this up. I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to minimize my one. There we go. Good. So on the right hand side you see the teacher's view, and on the left hand side you've got one of my students here. There we go. Now then, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the breakout rooms. We now said, now guys, you're going to talk. So here we go. Room number if functions, this one here, I'm going to click on the ellipses, and I'm going to say open the room. And now it's going to take out, and I'm going to do the same. There you go. Can you see here? The breakout room session has started. You'll be automatically moved in 10 seconds. So what it's doing now, this student and the other student have been moved into their own breakout room. Now, the students end here, if I look at participants, the only participants are the 2 students which I added in that team, in that group. I'm going to open up the other one as well. There we go. And they can invite me in if they want. Okay, let's just get the other one started as well. And now I've got 2 of, there you go, it's opening, and there you go, it's open. So both of these are open. Now in the teachers, in the main team, in the teacher view, you can see participants 0. I've got suggestions, but they've moved out of my team. I've got no one to talk with here. Okay, now let's bring in one of the groups. Here we go. There's the one group there. So that's student 1 and there we go, and there's another one. Okay, so now I've got a student from each group. So this student is in one of the groups, and this student is in the other group. And I'm doing this so that you can see how I can pop in and out of each group. So I'm also going to open up here so you can see the participants on this side as well. There we go. Okay, great. So in this group, we've got student 4 and 3. In this group, we've got student 1 and this John Doe one. Now, I'm going to open up the teacher's view. Here we go. Now, if I want, oh, there we go. If I want to join one of the teams, or one of the groups, should I say, I can very easily open up the group which I want. Let's say I want to join this one here. I'm going to open that up. There it is there. We can see the students which are there. It says they're in a meeting. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, if I click on the dots, I can join the room. There we go. So now I'm just going to leave that there. Your speakers are, yes, I know. So now I'm in this group with these two students, and I can talk with them and see how they're doing, collaborate with them, probably give them some feedback, and basically have a quick chat in private with them, guide them, and then move on. So let's say I've done that with this group. I can leave this group, and then I can go to this group and go and talk with these students. Join room. There we go. I've now joined this group. If you want to see what that looks like on the student side, let me move my one out of the way. There we go. So you can see here in this group now, there are 3 people, student 4, student 3, and the organizer. In this group, it's only the 2 students on their own. That's basically it. Now, let's say the lesson's over and I want to bring everybody back to the main meeting. So we can have a class discussion now on basically to recap what they've done. So I can click on the ellipses. I'm going to close this room and I'm going to close this room, and the students will get a message saying that the room is closing in 10 seconds. And if I look at the participants, there you go. You see, it says in the meeting, there you go, that's closing. Not closed yet. This one's closed and that one's closed. So now if I go to my okay, I'm on hold. I'm going to resume into this lesson here. There we go. And I can see my participants. Everyone's back and I can talk to my class. If you want to now reshuffle the group, again, that can be done. You can reassign students. So from here, I've got student 1. If I want to put student 1 in the other group, then I'm going to click here, assign, put that student in the VLOOKUP, and I want to remove student 3 and assign that one and put them in the if functions one. There we go. And now what I have to do, if I want to break them out into their own rooms, is again simply click here and open the rooms. That's it. Breakout rooms simplified. Looks a little bit confusing because I'm working 5 accounts at the same time, but I think you can get the general picture of what it looks like on the teacher's end and what the students will experience as well. Hope you found it useful. See you again in the next video.